Well, hello. We're going to look at section 2.2 today. Notice we have a picture of a packing crate on there. That's because that's kind of our key problem. Is if you know a packing crate, maybe you know the weight of the crate and you know the total weight, can you figure out what's inside of it? Sometimes they ask you when you ship something what the weight inside of something is. They don't just have a scale always to do that. So that's kind of our key problem today. Our objective to be able to estimate solutions for simple equations and to find solutions instinctively. So math may not come to you instinctively, but that's kind of what we're trying to teach. So it's a hard thing to teach. You know, if you ever have someone who doesn't naturally, maybe they're not a good person at athletics or something, it's hard to teach that sort of thing. First of all, we have a couple of vocab words. An equation, we probably all use an equation. Now look at the first part of that word, equation. Now here's a way to kind of help you realize what an equation is. Look at the first part of that word. This computer's going really slow today. First part of that word, equa. What math sign do you notice that's kind of similar to equa? Wouldn't that be equals sign? And that's really what an equation is. It's a math phrase that has an equal sign. So a phrase, it's like a set of numbers, variables, letters, and maybe some signs. But one of the signs that it has to have is an equal sign. A math phrase with an equal sign. So we've all seen equations before. 5 plus 3 equals 2. 5 plus x equals 10. Something like that. Okay? Now that's a little different from an open sentence. An equation could be just numbers, but an open sentence is specifically an equation, so it has an equal sign, but it has a variable. So we call it open because we don't know, there could be a lot of different options. Really the answer is open. We don't know what the answer is. Now we might be trying to find it, but nonetheless, when you start, it has something that's open to be more than one thing. And finally is the solution of an equation. Find that one on your sheet. The solution is a number that you plug in for the variable to make it true. So a number that makes the equation true. And the solution can be for lots of things. So for example, the solution of, maybe if I say how many copies do I need to make for fifth hour? Well, the solution is the number that makes it true. So I think there's 21 students in there, so I need to make 21 copies. Now looking on, I remember a few things from before. Remember what a variable is. That's a letter that stands for a number. Now this isn't vocab, we already did variable, but it's a letter that stands for a number. So when you see a variable, you know that a number goes in that spot. Every time you see a variable, there is a number that can be plugged in there. Sometimes we know it, sometimes we don't. It's like the cost. You don't always know the cost until you actually go to the store or something. Or maybe you can find the cost. So there's reasons why you don't always know what it is. But there is a number that goes there. Now our job today is to try and find what that number is. Okay, so like if I said we need to buy five rulers, and you go to the store and you don't know how much those rulers are, but you know how much the cost is, you're going to times by 5. So if they're $1, that'd be $5. If they're $2, it'd be 10, right? So that's our job, is to find what that cost is. Like go to the store and find that. Now sometimes that's impossible. Okay, for example, if I tell you to find the cost of something and you can't find it, well, it's impossible. Now it says use mental math to solve each equation. I'm going to highlight a few things in here. Oops, did not mean to click that far. All the variables is what I'm going to highlight. The notable exception of that big mark that I made. I think I can erase that though. Yeah, there we go. One more time. It's a highlighter. So all these are the variables, and those are the things we're looking for. What could possibly go in those spots? Can you hear those people out in the hallway? It's after school on Friday. There's people running in the hallways. So what we want to know is what could you subtract from 9 to get 5? Going the wrong way there. What could you subtract from 9 to get 5? So kind of think about it. What number could you put in there that would work? If you're not sure, try a few things. So could you try 15? Well, think about it. What's 15 minus 9? Does that get you 5? No, it gets you 10. Oops. It gets you 6. So that doesn't work. So we have to get 5. So just think about what could you plug in there to make it work. What could you minus 9 don't know if hopefully that break didn't make a difference. I had a teacher came in and wanted to talk to me about something. Not too important. Anyways, back to this. So we're looking for what number could you subtract 9 from to get 5. So just try a few things. 15 minus 9, 12 minus 9, 10 minus 9. Well, 10 minus 9 is 1, so that doesn't work. 11 minus 9 is 2. 12 minus 9, 13. What if you tried 14? Would that work? 14 minus 9? Yes, it would. I swear, there's more interruptions here than anything. So we want to see what on earth could we subtract 9 from to get 5. Now, I think the subtraction one's actually the hardest. How about this one? 4z equals 28. Now, first of all, the first thing we need to know is what that 4z means. So when there's nothing in between there, that means it's 4 what? Plus z, minus z, times z, divided by z. It means that it is 4 times z, right? Now, here's what we want to know then. 4 times, there's my times sign. 4 times what could give us 28? So try a few things. Now we know it's 4 already, so 4 times 1. Nope, that's not going to work. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 4, 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7. Does that get us 28? It does, and we just kind of had to use some trial and error. So, and I'm back. This is like the 4th time I've been interrupted here. Okay, let's look at C. Now we're going to do this one a little bit faster, hopefully. It says G. Now remember, G takes the place of some number. We just don't know what number it is. So G plus 7 equals 11. So in other words, we're adding something plus 7 to get 11. What would you add to 7 to get 11? 7 plus 1? No. 7 plus 2? No. 7 plus 3? No. 7 plus 4. So you have to kind of find the number, and it does take some practice, especially with part D. Now what does that mean, that symbol in there? C what 6? C over 6, but what does that mean? It means divide, right? So there's my little divide sign, if you can tell what that is. So we're dividing. What could you divide by 6 to get 5? Well, here's a little tougher, because we got to think about things that we can easily divide by 6. What could you divide by 6? Well, 12 divided by 6, but that's 2. We need to get 5. So how do we get 5? Well, how about 18 divided by 6, but that'll get us 3. Okay, not that. 24 divided by 6 will get us 4. 30 divided by 6. Now you see how I just kind of try them out until now I'm a math teacher, so I kind of know that that's going to be the answer. But you just got to kind of keep trying until you get to the one that you're looking for. Don't just copy these down. Make sure you're actually trying them. Well, how about a real story life problem? Story problem. Real life story problem. It says the weight of a packing crate is 14.65 pounds. The crate and its contents together weigh 85.21 pounds. I'm just going to highlight those numbers because chances are going to have to use those numbers somehow. Now you notice the next word. I love that next word, estimate. Because that means you don't have to get it exact. And it's much easier if you estimate, which is normal, right? Isn't that usually a lot of times we just like to estimate things. So it says the weight of a packing crate is 14.65. See that first number? So what does that mean? What would that round to? What's that about? Well, you could say it's about 14.5 pounds, but let's try and find an easier number. Isn't that pretty close to 15 pounds? If I say someone's 14.6 years old, they're pretty close to 15. Not quite there, but they're close. We could round it to 15. Now the crate and its contents together weighs 85.21 pounds. That's pretty close to 85. So we got both of those numbers. Now we want to estimate the weight of the contents. So we got to think about this. This whole thing together weighs 85. Now that's the whole thing, right? But the stuff that's inside, that's my inside arrow, we don't know. But we do know that the crate itself weighs 15. Remember, we're estimating. That's okay. How could you find out how much the stuff inside is? Well, think of it this way. How much the crate weighs, maybe 5 pounds, and whatever's inside of it, say that's 10 pounds, you'd add them together, right? So we want to know, what could we add? We know it's a 15-pound crate plus however much is on the inside. So we want to put some variable for it. Let's use W for weight. And if we add them together, we should get the total weight. But we know the total weight's 85. You put this thing on a scale, and you happen to know your crate beforehand. You know your crate is 15 pounds. You put it on a scale, and the scale reads 85. How much is the stuff inside? Well, what could you add to 15 to get to 85? A little bit higher numbers, but we can still figure it out, right? Well, let's see. It's going to have to be a pretty big number. 50? No, not 50. More than that. 60? More than 60. 70? Well, 70 plus 15 would be 95. So it's got to be... Oh, there it is. 70. 70 plus 15. Look at that. I just found it by just kind of guessing. Not guessing, but we're kind of guessing, checking. So we get 70. Now double check it. 70 and 15. If you add them to get 85. Yes. Remember, we weren't exact. We estimated. So we're going to say it's about 70. Okay? So there's a symbol for about. And it looks kind of like these two wavy things. It's like an equal sign, but it's wavy. So that shows that, well, it's kind of equal to it, but it's not quite there. Okay? So good. Hopefully that helps you just a little bit with our problems. And we do have an assignment that we're working on. It's the That Quiz practice, and you'll find the link on my website, of course. Remember, this is for a grade, but the good news is you don't have to get 100% to get the full grade. You have to get more than 80% right. If you struggle with it a bit or you need to retake it, see me and we can get a retake for you. Remember, you can also always ask for help. You'll have to kind of get a move on with this because you'll have limited time. I'll end with a joke. Now, someone gave me a bunch of jokes to use. I'm not promising that they're funny, but they are still jokes. So, for example, here's my first one. What is Beethoven's favorite fruit? What is Beethoven's favorite fruit? Beethoven's a famous composer, right? What is his favorite fruit? His favorite fruit is banana.